light switches. Waking up on a brisk morning, I pick my daughter up and lumber out into the living room of our home. And as I carry her in my arms, she scans the hallway, looking and observing this new day. The world for her is fresh and wondrous. I smile because when we pass by the light switch in the hallway, Ainsley will never miss an opportunity to reach out and touch the switch. She says, "On?" And then with her tiny, delicate fingers, she grasps the switch and plays with the lever until she figures out which way the switch flicks. On. The light in the house becomes illuminating, yet it does not compare to the light that comes from Ainsley as she recognizes and realizes that she is responsible for turning on the light. Her tiny fingers wrestled with the magic of that switch. Her wrist and strong arm maneuvered to adjust to the angle which would allow her the leverage to make light. She turns on the lights in the morning. And if I'm a lucky papa, I'll hear her, "Ah," or, "Oh." Or she will smile and applaud, as she likes to do when she is impressed with the world around her. And while she may be impressed with the world around her, I have to admit that I am impressed with her. Her childlike entrance into the morning brings new awareness and awe in me. She reminds me how simple and amazing and wonderful things are and can be. Everyday things, like turning on the lights. It would be all too easy for me to turn them on for her. Just a flick of the switch and I'd have it done. Presto. Light. Then on to coffee and other things of the morning. Or I might bypass that switch altogether. Other things which demand my time and energy in the morning are calling me. Where to be and who I am meeting with and what tasks and duties are in need of my groggy recollecting. Important indeed, yet not of the same variety as my daughter's pure will to draw me to the light switch in the hallway so that she may be the one to illuminate the day. She pulls at me and reminds me that there are many light switches at which to pause, take note of, grasp, and struggle, or wrestle even, to turn on. On, as she would say, with as commanding and committed a voice as I'll hear all day. There are other switches, which if I were not as commanding or committed, if I were in a rush or distracted state of mind, would remain unflipped. I wonder for us this day which lights we have passed by, which switches escaped our grasp. They would be off, unattended to, or perhaps even worse, casually flung in a desperate attempt to appear caring that I do want that light to be turned on. Would I rather just sit in darkness? Would I rather just leave it be? Do I fear the light? Or am I too impatient that this little one in my arms is working endlessly to make her mark on the day with an exhaustively simple flick of the switch, that I would brush her hand aside and do the work myself? Would that not be an injustice to this world? It would certainly be an injustice to me and to her, that I would teach her such a thing as impatience, and that it is someone else's job to turn on that switch. I would miss her in the morning. And she would learn that there is no time in mornings for listing one's fingers upon the switch of illumination. She would miss the poetry and the beauty of such an act. My daughter's prayer could be one found in Psalm 27 this morning. The Lord is my light. When evildoers assail me, my heart shall not fear. I will be confident. One thing I ask of the Lord that I will seek after, to live in the house all the days, to behold the beauty. Come, says my heart. Do not turn your servant away in anger, you who have been my heart. There's fear and a sense of homelessness, that darkness and oppression are palpable and at the heart of this passage. The psalmist is writing in a time of despair. Yet the psalmist's plea is for God's very best to be present, to be visible and knowable, and be a place of dwelling. The enemy is perhaps far greater for the psalmist than for my daughter. Yet, this is still a profound, triumphant declaration of trust in God, and today becomes the soft morning prayer, personalized, precious, close to the heart. Our lectionary locates this psalm in the season of Epiphany, the season of light, and God's radiant emerging. Epiphany means a sudden, intuitive perception of or insight into the reality, or essentially meaning of something, usually initiated by some simple, homely, or commonplace occurrence or experience, like a light switch. The word is Greek and comes from epi, on, and phan, meaning to appear on or at, flick, like a light switch, turning on. You see, there are lights in this world that need the nimble finger of a toddler, that require the smile of a heart-warmed innocence and determination of a child. There are lights in this world that long for pause, deliberation, and attentiveness to such tasks as flicking on their switch. And once moved, the electrical energy that comes from such a simple action transforms the room and the day. On yesterday, I saw the light of which I speak of, a light upon this city. And as I stood before nearly 3,000 to 5,000 people gathered, I saw switches that had been remembered and dusted off, beckoning for the inspiration of a single person and the power of a multitude gathered to bear light to this world. I saw love, compassion, vision, truth to power, and determination. I saw the switches of human rights, healthcare for all, LGBTQ equality, racial harmony, a woman's right to choose, science, eco-justice, kindness, community, and respect. Each switch, when flipped onward, proved to light up that blustery sky yesterday. I saw a world that I want to live in. A world illuminated by people, everyday and ordinary, who cared to pause, to remember, and to wrestle with that switch and engage it. Oh, wow. As my daughter says. Let us not leave those switches unflipped going forward this day, tomorrow, and next week, and every day. When we have been in darkness like those whom the prophet Isaiah writes about in this morning's scripture, the people who walk in darkness, we are brought to awareness of the unfathomable presence of God, God's warmth and illumination, which, when the light is turned on, we see clearly. It shakes us from our daily routine, our blindness, to awe and wow at the miracle of God's love in our lives. We are brought from spiritual death into spiritual life. The Hebrew translated poetically affirms what the psalmist has already sung. The peoples, the ones going in darkness, they see light great. Ones dwelling in land of shadow of death, light. He is bright over them. Isaiah's poetry reminds us that God's light can never be used for oppression, that the rod and the bar break and snap under God's justice. For under God, there will be no revoking of rights, no taking away of grace, no withholding of love, and no diminishing of life. God's light is beyond the light of any politician or leader. It is more than any of us could offer, because light, God's light, is of the people and for the people. You, me, we, together. It will break my heart the day that my daughter will turn on the light herself, without me. Maybe I will be too weak to hold her up. Maybe she will have grown too big to fit into the folds of my arms. Maybe she will have her own home, her own child and family, her own light switch at which to pause and remember. But I hope that she will pause, place her hand on the switch, feel its tension and possibility. I hope she will not rush, but enjoy the poetry and the power of that moment when the switch is flipped. On. On. On, she will say. And so the light will appear and illuminate her day as she scoops her family up in her arms and brings them to march in solidarity with the poor, the oppressed, the weak, the hungry, the marginalized, when she goes to march in the footsteps of Jesus. I hope she will remember God, watching her as she walks in the darkness, who helps her heart not to fear, but instead to pray, "The Lord is my light. When evildoers assail me, my heart shall not fear. I will be confident. And one thing I ask of the Lord, that will I seek after, to live in the house all the days, and behold the beauty. Come, says my heart. Do not turn your servant away in anger, you who have been my help." Amen.